Tonight, breaking news. Back-to-back winter storms sweeping through the east with an Arctic blast following close behind.
Tonight, breaking news feels different than it used to. Back-to-back winter storms are sweeping through the eastern half of the country, with an Arctic blast following close behind, and across the United States, pressure no longer feels contained. It starts in the frozen heart of the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, where a severe winter system refuses to move on, stretching far beyond what people there consider normal. What once would have been a few hard days has turned into something heavier, longer, and harder to explain. Far to the north, along Alaska's cold waters, massive icebergs are flipping over, exposing dark undersides that haven't seen daylight in generations. Almost at the same time, in eastern Montana, a winter storm is interrupted by a sky glowing in colors that don't belong in a blizzard. And out on mountain slopes, the evergreen trees, built by nature to stay green through hardship, begin changing color. They're still standing, still rooted, but no longer the same. Different places, different signs, the same uneasy feeling that something is shifting. The question isn't just what is happening anymore, but why so many natural boundaries seem to be breaking at the same time. Before we go any further, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and stay with us. Across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and into northern Indiana, tens of millions of people are living under a winter system that simply won't let go. Arctic air has pushed south and stalled. Temperatures drop fast, roads freeze before crews can react, and power demand spikes until grids strain under the load. School schedules collapse, workdays vanish overnight, and daily routines disappear all at once, not gradually. Yet in the middle of that pressure, something else happens. Neighbors start checking on neighbors. Farmers open barns to shelter stranded animals. Churches and community centers unlock their doors for warmth, hot meals, and phone charging. In small towns and city neighborhoods alike, people share generators, split firewood, and make quiet rounds on elderly residents living alone. None of it is mandated. It just happens. Scripture often describes times like this not just as disruption, but as moments meant to wake people up. Ecclesiastes reminds us there is a time for everything, including times when normal order is interrupted. Job asks, "From whose womb comes the ice, and who gives birth to the frost of heaven?" A reminder that even the most familiar elements are never fully under human control. When rare conditions start repeating and boundaries blur, it becomes harder to dismiss them as coincidence. Along Alaska's frozen coastline, the sea tells its own story. Icebergs that once seemed stable suddenly roll without storms or collisions. Calm water, then motion. When they flip, what's revealed underneath isn't clean white ice, but dark sediment, algae, ancient debris, and trapped history. The flip doesn't destroy the iceberg. It exposes what it has been carrying in silence for decades. Scientists can explain the mechanics. Uneven melting shifts weight until gravity takes over. Technically, it makes sense, but fishermen and coastal residents describe the same reaction, not fear, but discomfort. And they've seen ice break before, just never ice that revealed so much of what lay hidden beneath. In Scripture, the deep is never empty. Job writes that God brings hidden things to light. These aren't new objects being created. They're old things being revealed. During a powerful winter storm in eastern Montana, people step outside expecting darkness and blowing snow, and instead look up at a sky washed in rose and violet. The colors linger, spread from horizon to horizon, transforming the blizzard into something surreal. Meteorologists later explain how light refracts through ice crystals at a precise angle, but even they admit the conditions are rare, especially during an active storm. What unsettles people isn't just the beauty, but the scale. The sky changes everywhere at once. Drivers struggle with depth perception as snow reflects unfamiliar hues. Landmarks feel distorted. Many who witness it say the image stays with them, not as fear, but as weight. Joel wrote of wonders in the heavens and the earth, not always destructive, sometimes simply meant to be seen. When the sky itself refuses to look normal, it invites reflection. Farther south, along the outer banks of North Carolina, change comes more quietly but no less seriously. Wave by wave, powerful Atlantic storms eat away at barrier islands. Sections of Highway 12 buckle or vanish overnight. Homes that once felt safely inland collapse or tilt as the ground beneath them disappears. No single storm takes the blame. Instead, rising seas, eroded dunes, sinking land, and stronger storms combine into a steady retreat. The shoreline doesn't fail all at once. It moves back year by year, and by the time damage is visible, the foundation is already gone. Psalm 11 asks, "If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do?" Not as panic, but as a call to pay attention. Similar patterns are unfolding in southern Louisiana, where land sinks quietly into marsh and open water. Families plan not growth, but retreat. Churches relocate. Cemeteries tilt. The land doesn't collapse. It thins. Out west, in the foothills of the Rockies, entire slopes of evergreen trees begin shifting color together. Pines and spruces fade to muted yellows and rusts without wildfire scars or obvious drought. They don't die immediately. They stay standing, just changed. Scientists point to warming winters, insects, root stress, and moisture shifts, but the timing and uniformity raise questions. But Psalm 1 speaks of a tree whose leaf does not wither when its roots are nourished. When leaves fade all at once, Scripture treats it as a sign of deeper imbalance. Meanwhile, across everyday American life, another kind of fracture appears. Stores are full, but households feel empty. Spending continues, but confidence doesn't. Credit balances rise, buy now, pay later, replaces savings, and consumption keeps moving while satisfaction disappears. Economists explain inflation and wages, but many people sense the problem goes deeper. Haggai warned of earning wages only to put them into a purse with holes. When abundance exists without peace, something is off. Deep beneath northern Arizona, a stone slab etched with unfamiliar symbols emerges during routine excavation. Buried far below undisturbed soil, it shows careful workmanship, and not recent activity. Archaeologists study it cautiously, but no explanation fits cleanly. Job wrote that God reveals deep things out of darkness. The stone arrives not with answers, but with questions, at a moment already heavy with disruption. In parts of Appalachia, residents describe something equally unsettling: silence. Entire hollows fall quiet without warning. No insects, no wind, no distant traffic. Just stillness that feels heavy rather than peaceful. Scripture treats silence not as emptiness, but as pause. Zephaniah wrote, "Be silent before the Lord, for the day of the Lord is near." When creation holds its breath, it invites listening. Back in the Midwest, heavy rains in Missouri and Illinois overwhelm drainage systems built for a gentler past. Streets become rivers in minutes. Homes outside flood zones fill with water. When the water recedes, hillsides collapse, roads fail, and engineers realize the rain didn't cause the weakness. It revealed it. Jesus once said, "Storms don't destroy strong foundations. They expose weak ones." Farther north, prolonged snowfall in Montana and Wyoming piles up day after day. Roofs sag, trees snap, livestock struggle, and emergency crews can't reach remote areas. The danger isn't sudden, it's persistent. Scripture often emphasizes that sustained pressure tests endurance more than sudden disaster. When pressure doesn't lift, something is being measured. Then the air itself behaves strangely. Brief wind vortices form in calm skies across multiple states, damaging property before vanishing. No storms, no warnings, just motion without context. When natural systems stop behaving predictably, Scripture frames it not as chaos, but as signal. Across all of this, a pattern emerges. Ice reveals what it carried. Skies change color. Land retreats. Trees fade. Systems strain. Silence falls. None of these events alone proves anything. Together, they form a convergence that's hard to ignore. Luke 21 speaks of distress of nations, of seas and waves roaring, of perplexity when familiar structures fail. This isn't about panic or predictions. It's about awareness. Scripture consistently shows that warnings are not given to terrify, but to prepare. When pressure builds across land, sea, sky, and society at the same time, it invites reflection. What foundations are we relying on? What have we ignored because it stayed hidden? And what might be emerging now because the ground itself is shifting? If this resonates with you, take a moment to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe. What we're seeing across the United States doesn't feel random to many people. It feels like a season where boundaries are being tested and hidden things are being revealed. Attention, not fear, is the right response.